Hello, and welcome to Eternal Peace, where we dive deep into insights that transform how we live, love, and navigate life. Have you ever found yourself overwhelmed by emotions snapping in frustration, struggling to stay calm in chaos, or clinging to things you know you should let go of? What if I told you that the secret to finding peace and clarity isn't in suppressing these feelings, but in responding to them with wisdom? In today's video, we'll uncover the timeless wisdom of emotional mastery through practical Buddhist principles, from mindfulness to impermanence, detachment to gratitude, and more. We'll explore how small, intentional changes can completely transform the way you face life's challenges. Along the way, you'll hear relatable stories, real-world examples, and actionable steps that will inspire you to see every obstacle as an opportunity for growth. Imagine this. A parent diffuses a child's tantrum not with frustration, but with a single calming breath. A couple embraces the fleeting moments of a long-distance relationship, finding joy instead of sorrow. A professional bounces back from career setbacks by shifting their focus from loss to possibility. These are the lessons we're diving into today, and I promise you'll walk away with tools that can truly change your life. But before we dive in, do me a favor, take a moment to hit that like button. Share this video with someone who needs a little inspiration, and subscribe to our channel for more insights that bring clarity and calm to your everyday life. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming up next. Now, let's explore the art of emotional mastery together. Stay tuned, because by the end of this video, you'll have the tools to not only handle life's challenges, but thrive in them. Emotions are powerful forces that shape our experiences and interactions. Yet they often seem to control us rather than the other way around. This lack of control can lead to a cascade of regret, frustration, and unintended consequences. Buddhist teachings offer a profound and practical approach to understanding and mastering our emotions, emphasizing the transformative power of the mind. Central to this philosophy is the concept that our thoughts and perceptions shape our emotions, and by extension, our actions and life outcomes. By applying these principles, we can navigate the challenges of modern life with greater clarity, calm, and confidence. The idea that the mind is everything serves as the foundation for emotional mastery. Consider a common scenario: an argument with a friend or partner. The immediate surge of anger or frustration might prompt harsh words or impulsive actions, often exacerbating the conflict. However, a deeper understanding of the mind's role in generating and sustaining emotions allows us to pause, reassess, and choose a more thoughtful response. This practice, known as mindfulness, encourages us to observe our emotions without becoming entangled in them. It's not about suppressing feelings, but about recognizing them for what they are: transient mental states, and responding from a place of wisdom rather than reactivity. Mindfulness is a practice that extends beyond formal meditation. It's about cultivating a moment-to-moment awareness of our thoughts, feelings, and surroundings. For example, imagine being stuck in traffic after a long day. Instead of succumbing to irritation and stress, mindfulness invites us to notice the sensations of sitting in the car, the rhythm of our breath, and the music playing on the radio. This shift in focus helps ground us in the present moment, transforming an otherwise frustrating experience into an opportunity for calm and reflection. Over time, this practice builds emotional resilience, enabling us to respond to life's challenges with greater composure. Another critical teaching in Buddhism is the concept of impermanence, which reminds us that everything in life is in a constant state of change. This understanding can be liberating when applied to emotional control. Often, we cling to fleeting moments of joy or resist the natural ebb and flow of life, leading to unnecessary suffering. Embracing impermanence helps us see that emotions, like all experiences, are temporary. For instance, when facing disappointment over a missed opportunity, recognizing its impermanence allows us to move forward rather than dwell on what might have been. Similarly, this principle helps us appreciate positive experiences without becoming overly attached, fostering a balanced perspective. Compassion, both for ourselves and others, plays a vital role in emotional mastery. In moments of conflict, it's easy to focus on our own frustrations and grievances. Yet, Adopting a compassionate mindset enables us to see the situation from the other person's perspective, softening our response. Imagine a coworker snapping at you during a stressful meeting. Rather than reacting defensively, compassion encourages us to consider the pressures they might be under. This shift not only de-escalates potential conflict but also fosters deeper connections and understanding. Self-compassion is equally important, particularly in moments of personal failure or disappointment. By treating ourselves with kindness and forgiveness, we create a foundation for growth rather than self-criticism. Detachment, another cornerstone of Buddhist philosophy, often challenges our conventional understanding of relationships and possessions. It does not mean indifference or apathy, but rather a healthy separation from the idea that our happiness depends on external factors. Consider the anxiety that arises from being overly attached to material possessions or specific outcomes. By practicing detachment, we learn to engage fully with life while recognizing that true contentment comes from within. For example, a professional who ties their self-worth to job success might feel devastated by a setback. Detachment allows them to view the situation as an opportunity for growth rather than a personal failure, reducing emotional turmoil. Meditation is one of the most effective tools for cultivating these principles. It provides a dedicated space to observe the mind, develop self-awareness, and practice emotional regulation. Beginners often struggle with the misconception that meditation requires complete mental stillness. In reality, it's about observing thoughts and emotions as they arise without judgment. A simple practice, such as focusing on the breath, can anchor the mind and create a sense of calm amid chaos. Over time, meditation strengthens our ability to remain centered, even in the face of intense emotions. Patience is another invaluable skill emphasized in Buddhist teachings. In a world that prioritizes instant gratification, learning to wait with grace can feel countercultural. Yet patience allows us to approach challenges with a sense of perspective and calm. For instance, think of a gardener tending to seeds. Despite weeks or months without visible progress, they trust the process, knowing that growth takes time. Similarly, cultivating patience in our daily lives, whether waiting in line, dealing with setbacks, or resolving conflicts, helps us maintain emotional balance and make wiser decisions. The practice of gratitude is a simple yet profound way to transform our emotional landscape. When we focus on what we have rather than what we lack, we shift our mindset from scarcity to abundance. For example, keeping a gratitude journal, where we note 3 things we're thankful for each day, can help us recognize the positive aspects of our lives. This practice not only improves our mood, but also strengthens relationships by encouraging us to express appreciation for others. Gratitude reminds us of the interconnectedness of our experiences and fosters a sense of contentment. Nonviolence, or ahimsa, extends beyond physical harm to include our thoughts, words, and actions. It challenges us to approach conflicts and frustrations with a spirit of understanding and compassion rather than aggression. For example, in a heated debate, choosing to listen actively and respond thoughtfully rather than reacting with anger can diffuse tension and pave the way for resolution. This practice also applies to our inner dialogue. By cultivating nonviolent thoughts toward ourselves, we foster self-acceptance and reduce unnecessary stress. Self-awareness is the foundation of all these practices. It's the ability to recognize and understand our emotions, triggers, and patterns of behavior. For instance, if you notice that certain situations consistently make you anxious or irritable, self-awareness allows you to address the underlying causes. Journaling, seeking feedback from trusted friends, and engaging in reflective practices are effective ways to deepen self-awareness. With greater insight into our inner world, we can make intentional choices rather than succumbing to habitual reactions. Ultimately, the power of not reacting lies in the ability to pause, reflect, and choose our responses wisely. This approach transforms the way we experience life, reducing unnecessary suffering and opening the door to greater peace and fulfillment. By integrating Buddhist principles like mindfulness, impermanence, compassion, and detachment into our daily lives, we not only improve our emotional well-being, but also strengthen our relationships and contribute to a more harmonious world. These teachings remind us that while we may not always control external circumstances, we have the power to shape our inner experiences, creating a life marked by clarity, resilience, and joy. Mindfulness is the practice of fully engaging with the present moment, allowing us to observe our thoughts, emotions, and surroundings without judgment. It serves as an anchor in the turbulence of life, providing clarity and stability when emotions threaten to overwhelm. Imagine a scenario like Maria's a high-powered executive in the midst of a tense meeting. In the past, she might have reacted impulsively, adding fuel to an already heated situation. But with mindfulness, she takes a deep breath, acknowledges her frustration without being consumed by it, and responds with calm, measured words. This small shift transforms the outcome, fostering understanding and collaboration rather than conflict. At its core, mindfulness teaches us to experience life as it unfolds, rather than being trapped in regrets about the past or anxieties about the future. One of the simplest ways to begin is through sensory awareness. Picture starting your day with a cup of coffee. Instead of rushing through it, take a moment to notice its warmth in your hands, the rich aroma rising from the mug, the taste as it hits your tongue. This small act of mindfulness grounds you in the here and now, creating a ripple effect of calmness that can influence the rest of your day. Mindfulness isn't limited to tranquil moments. Its power shines most brightly during challenges. Consider a parent dealing with a toddler's tantrum in a crowded grocery store. Without mindfulness, the immediate response might be frustration or embarrassment, leading to sharp words or a hurried exit. However, a mindful parent takes a breath, observes the situation without judgment, and calmly addresses the child's needs. This approach not only diffuses the tension but also models emotional regulation for the child, fostering a more harmonious interaction. The beauty of mindfulness lies in its accessibility. You don't need special equipment or hours of free time to practice it. Even during the busiest days, there are opportunities to bring mindfulness into everyday activities. Washing dishes, for instance, can be transformed into a calming ritual when you focus on the feel of the water, the texture of the plates, and the rhythmic motion of your hands. Similarly, a short walk becomes a sensory experience as you pay attention to the sound of your footsteps, the rustle of leaves, or the cool breeze on your skin. Mindfulness also has profound benefits for mental and emotional health. Studies have shown that it reduces stress, improves focus, and enhances overall well-being. In moments of crisis, mindfulness provides a pause button, allowing us to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. For example, a professional receiving critical feedback might initially feel defensive or upset. However, by practicing mindfulness, they can observe these emotions without judgment and engage in a constructive conversation, turning a potentially negative experience into an opportunity for growth. In relationships, mindfulness fosters deeper connections by encouraging us to truly listen and engage with others. Picture a conversation with a friend who is sharing their struggles. Instead of planning your response or letting your mind wander, mindfulness helps you focus entirely on their words, tone, and emotions. This presence not only strengthens the bond between you, but also allows you to offer more meaningful support. Mindfulness is not a quick fix, but a lifelong practice that deepens over time. As it becomes a habit, its effects ripple outward, enhancing not only our internal state, but also our interactions with the world. For instance, during a stressful commute, a mindful driver notices their grip on the steering wheel, the rhythm of their breathing, and the sounds around them. This awareness transforms an otherwise frustrating experience into an opportunity to practice patience and presence. Mindfulness also provides a buffer against the pressures of modern life, where multitasking and constant connectivity often leave us feeling fragmented and overwhelmed. By committing to single tasking, fully focusing on one activity at a time, we reclaim a sense of control and satisfaction. For example, instead of checking emails during a meeting, practicing mindfulness involves giving your full attention to the discussion at hand, resulting in better understanding and more effective contributions. Incorporating mindfulness into daily routines doesn't require drastic changes. Start with a few minutes of quiet reflection each morning, focusing on your breath or setting an intention for the day. Throughout the day, use simple reminders, a specific sound, a visual cue, or a moment of stillness to return to the present. Over time, mindfulness becomes second nature, a reliable tool for navigating life's complexities with grace and resilience. One of the most transformative aspects of mindfulness is its ability to shift our perspective on emotions. Instead of viewing them as obstacles to be overcome, we learn to see them as fleeting visitors, each carrying a message. For instance, anxiety might signal the need to prepare for an upcoming challenge, while sadness can encourage reflection and self-care. By observing these emotions without attachment or aversion, we create space for understanding and growth. Mindfulness also encourages us to let go of perfectionism and embrace the beauty of imperfection. In a culture that often equates worth with achievement, this shift is liberating. Imagine a student preparing for a critical exam. Instead of fixating on the outcome, mindfulness helps them focus on the process, studying with curiosity and dedication. This approach not only reduces stress, but also enhances learning and retention. As the mind is fully engaged, the practice of mindfulness extends beyond the individual, influencing communities and workplaces. In a team setting, for example, mindfulness fosters collaboration by promoting empathy and reducing misunderstandings. A mindful leader creates an environment where diverse perspectives are valued, and conflicts are resolved constructively. Similarly, in schools, incorporating mindfulness into the curriculum helps students develop emotional intelligence, focus, and resilience. Mindfulness is not a destination but a journey, one that unfolds with each moment of practice. It invites us to live fully, embracing the richness of the present while letting go of the need to control or predict the future. Through mindfulness, we discover that even in the midst of life's storms, there is a still point, a place of clarity and peace that we can return to again and again. This simple yet profound practice transforms not only how we experience the world, but also how we interact with it, fostering a life of greater balance, joy, and connection. The concept of impermanence lies at the heart of Buddhist philosophy, offering a profound understanding of the transient nature of life. Imagine a monk holding a fragile glass cup, observing its beauty while acknowledging that it is already broken in his mind. This mindset doesn't diminish his appreciation of the cup, but enhances it, as he values it fully in the present moment, unburdened by attachment or the fear of its eventual loss. This story captures the essence of impermanence and the liberation that comes from embracing it. Impermanence teaches us that nothing in life remains static. Relationships, possessions, emotions, and even our physical bodies are in constant flux. While this truth may initially seem unsettling, it holds the key to emotional freedom. Clinging to the notion that things should stay the same often leads to frustration and suffering when they inevitably change. For instance, consider someone who loses a job they've held for years. The initial reaction might be fear, grief, or even anger, rooted in the belief that the job was a permanent source of stability. However, recognizing the transient nature of this situation opens the door to new possibilities. Instead of fixating on the loss, the person might see it as an opportunity to explore new career paths, develop new skills, or even reevaluate their life goals. This principle is equally relevant in personal relationships. Many people struggle with the idea of change within friendships, romantic partnerships, or family dynamics. A couple might mourn the loss of the spark they once shared, or parents may feel sadness as their children grow up and gain independence. Yet, understanding impermanence allows us to appreciate these connections for what they are in the present, rather than clinging to what they were in the past. For example, a parent embracing the growth of their child might find joy in watching them thrive as an adult, rather than lamenting the days when they were young and dependent. Impermanence also encourages us to cherish the good moments in life, knowing that they won't last forever. Think about a beautiful sunset. It doesn't linger in the sky indefinitely, but its fleeting nature makes it even more precious. Similarly, when we spend time with loved ones, Recognizing that those moments are temporary can deepen our gratitude and presence. Instead of taking these experiences for granted, we savor them, knowing that they are finite. On the other hand, impermanence provides solace during difficult times. When we are in the midst of pain, whether from heartbreak, illness, or disappointment, the understanding that this too shall pass offers comfort and hope. For example, someone recovering from a major surgery might feel discouraged by the slow pace of healing. Remembering that recovery is a process and that their current discomfort is temporary can help them remain patient and optimistic. In a broader context, impermanence challenges us to rethink our relationship with material possessions. Many people place immense value on acquiring and preserving wealth, believing it to be a source of lasting security. However, material things are inherently temporary. They can be lost, broken, or rendered meaningless by changing circumstances. Consider someone who saves diligently for a luxurious car, only to see it lose value over time or sustain damage in an accident. Recognizing the impermanence of possessions shifts our focus from accumulating things to cultivating experiences and relationships that bring deeper fulfillment. Embracing impermanence also has profound implications for our mental and emotional well-being. It helps us release the need for control over situations that are beyond our influence. A person who becomes anxious when plans fall apart might find relief in accepting that uncertainty is a natural part of life. Instead of resisting change or trying to force outcomes, they can adapt with greater ease and grace. For example, a couple whose wedding is disrupted by bad weather might choose to laugh at the unexpected turn of events, creating a memorable story rather than succumbing to disappointment. In daily life, the practice of embracing impermanence can be integrated through mindfulness and intentional reflection. For instance, journaling about the changes we've experienced, both big and small, can help us see how even challenging transitions have contributed to our growth. Meditation, too, can serve as a powerful tool, allowing us to observe our thoughts and emotions without attachment. By recognizing their impermanence, we learn to let go of fleeting negative feelings and make space for peace. One practical example of embracing impermanence is found in the workplace. Imagine a team working on a major project that ultimately fails to meet expectations. Instead of viewing the failure as a permanent setback, a mindful leader might frame it as a learning opportunity, encouraging the team to analyze what went wrong and how they can improve in the future. This approach not only fosters resilience, but also builds a culture of growth and adaptability. Similarly, in the face of aging, impermanence invites us to focus on what truly matters. While many people dread growing older, clinging to the appearance and vitality of youth, embracing this natural process allows us to find beauty and wisdom in each stage of life. A retiree, for example, might use their newfound free time to pursue hobbies, connect with loved ones, or give back to their community, finding purpose and joy in ways they never had before. Impermanence also plays a critical role in reducing fear, particularly the fear of loss. When we accept that loss is an inevitable part of life, we stop expending energy on trying to prevent it and instead focus on how we respond. For instance, someone facing the end of a relationship might feel overwhelmed by the pain of separation. However, by understanding that all relationships evolve and change, they can begin to appreciate the time they shared and look forward to new connections that align with their current stage of life. Even in the face of global challenges, the principle of impermanence offers a guiding light. Consider the uncertainty brought about by events like economic downturns or natural disasters. While these situations can feel overwhelming, recognizing that they are temporary can help communities remain hopeful and focused on rebuilding and adapting. Ultimately, impermanence reminds us to live with intention and presence. It encourages us to let go of the illusion of permanence, freeing us from unnecessary suffering and allowing us to approach life with greater flexibility and openness. By embracing change, we not only find freedom but also uncover new opportunities for growth and transformation. Whether we are savoring the sweetness of a fleeting moment or weathering the storms of life, impermanence teaches us that every ending is, indeed, a new beginning. Detachment is a concept that many people misunderstand. often associating it with coldness or indifference. However, true detachment isn't about apathy or disengagement. It's about maintaining a healthy relationship with the things and people around us, without letting them control our sense of self or happiness. At its core, detachment is about freedom from the burdens of clinging and the fear of loss. It allows us to enjoy life fully without becoming overly attached to outcomes or possessions. This principle applies to relationships, material goods, and even our personal aspirations, providing a pathway to greater emotional resilience and fulfillment. Imagine Julie, a woman who chose to downsize her home after years of living in a sprawling house filled with objects she believed defined her success. Initially, the decision filled her with fear. Would letting go of these things mean letting go of her identity? Yet, as she moved into a smaller space, she discovered something unexpected: the joy of simplicity. By releasing her attachment to material possessions, Julie found herself less burdened by maintenance and clutter, with more time and energy to focus on what truly mattered: her relationships, hobbies, and peace of mind. This experience exemplifies the liberating power of detachment. Detachment doesn't mean we stop loving or caring. On the contrary, it enables us to love more deeply and authentically by removing the fear and neediness that often accompany attachment. For example, consider a parent who is overly attached to their child's achievements. This attachment might lead the parent to push the child excessively, creating tension and resentment in the relationship. However, a parent practicing detachment supports their child's growth without tying their own happiness to the child's success. This approach fosters a more nurturing and understanding relationship, rooted in unconditional love rather than expectations. In romantic relationships, detachment can be transformative. Many people fall into the trap of believing that their partner is responsible for their happiness, leading to dependency and conflict. Detachment, in this context, means loving your partner while recognizing that your emotional well-being is your responsibility. This mindset allows each person to grow independently while supporting one another, creating a healthier and more balanced dynamic. For instance, a couple might find that by giving each other space to pursue individual interests, they bring renewed energy and appreciation into their shared time together. Detachment also applies to our ambitions and goals. It's natural to work hard and strive for success, but when we become overly attached to a specific outcome, we set ourselves up for disappointment and stress. Consider an athlete preparing for a competition. If their sense of self-worth is entirely tied to winning, a loss could feel devastating. However, if they approach the event with detachment, focusing on the effort and growth involved rather than the result, they can find satisfaction regardless of the outcome. This perspective not only reduces anxiety but also enhances performance, as the athlete is less weighed down by pressure. Material possessions are another area where detachment can significantly impact our emotional well-being. In a consumer-driven society, it's easy to equate happiness with ownership, but this mindset often leads to a cycle of dissatisfaction. We acquire something new, feel a brief sense of fulfillment, and then quickly begin yearning for the next thing. Detachment breaks this cycle by shifting our focus from accumulating things to appreciating what we already have. For example, someone practicing detachment might choose to declutter their home, keeping only the items that truly add value to their life. This process often brings a surprising sense of relief and contentment, as the physical and emotional weight of excess is lifted. Detachment also equips us to navigate life's inevitable changes with greater ease. Whether it's the end of a relationship, the loss of a job, or the passing of a loved one, attachment can amplify our suffering by making it harder to let go. Detachment doesn't eliminate grief or hardship, but it helps us accept and adapt to change. Imagine someone who loses their job after many years. An overly attached mindset might lead to despair and a sense of identity loss. However, a detached perspective allows them to see this as an opportunity for growth, perhaps by pursuing a new career path or developing a long-neglected passion. In friendships, detachment encourages us to accept people as they are rather than trying to control or change them. It's common to feel frustrated when friends don't meet our expectations, But detachment helps us recognize that everyone is on their own journey. For instance, if a friend repeatedly cancels plans, instead of feeling hurt or rejected, detachment allows us to empathize with their circumstances while maintaining our sense of self-worth. This mindset prevents resentment and strengthens the foundation of the friendship. A practical way to cultivate detachment is through mindfulness and self-reflection. By paying attention to our thoughts and feelings, we can identify areas where attachment is causing unnecessary stress or conflict. For example, if you find yourself feeling anxious about a work project, take a moment to reflect. Are you overly attached to being seen as perfect or successful? Recognizing this attachment can help you shift your focus to the aspects of the project that you can control, such as your effort and attitude, rather than fixating on how others might perceive the outcome. Another effective strategy is to practice gratitude. When we appreciate what we have in the present moment, we're less likely to cling to the idea of needing more. For example, someone practicing gratitude might find joy in their current home, even if it's smaller than they'd like, rather than constantly yearning for a bigger one. This shift in perspective fosters a sense of sufficiency and contentment, reducing the grip of attachment. Letting go of attachment also means embracing uncertainty and trusting the process of life. Many of us resist change because we fear the unknown, but detachment helps us see uncertainty as an opportunity for growth and discovery. Consider someone who moves to a new city for work. Initially, they might feel homesick and out of place, clinging to the comfort of their old routines. However, by embracing detachment, they can open themselves to the new experiences and relationships that the change brings, turning what seemed like a loss into a gain. It's important to note that detachment doesn't mean detaching from emotions entirely. It's about feeling fully without letting those emotions define us. For instance, when a loved one passes away, detachment doesn't mean avoiding grief, but rather allowing ourselves to grieve without being consumed by it. We can honor their memory while also continuing to live and find joy in the present. Detachment ultimately leads to a deeper sense of inner peace. By releasing our grip on things we cannot control, we free ourselves from the constant push and pull of external circumstances. This freedom allows us to approach life with greater flexibility and resilience. Whether it's dealing with the ups and downs of relationships, the unpredictability of careers, or the fleeting nature of material possessions, detachment teaches us to let go without losing love, to care deeply without clinging, and to live fully in the moment. Compassion is a cornerstone of inner peace, offering a way to connect deeply with others while fostering harmony within ourselves. Unlike empathy, which is the ability to understand another's feelings, compassion takes this understanding a step further by inspiring action to alleviate suffering or bring comfort. It's not just about feeling for others, it's about showing kindness in tangible ways, even when there's no expectation of recognition or reward. Acts of compassion, no matter how small, create ripples of positivity that extend far beyond the immediate situation. Consider the simple yet powerful example of a stranger helping an elderly woman carry groceries across a snowy street. The gesture might take only a few moments, but its impact lingers. For the elderly woman, the help alleviates not only the physical burden, but also the emotional isolation she might feel. For the helper, the act strengthens their sense of purpose and connection. Witnessing such acts can also inspire onlookers, creating a ripple effect of kindness and goodwill. Compassion begins with a shift in perspective from focusing solely on our own experiences to recognizing the interconnectedness of all beings. This understanding makes us more attuned to the needs and struggles of others. For example, imagine standing in a long line at the grocery store, frustrated by the delay. Practicing compassion might lead you to notice the tired cashier who has been standing for hours, juggling impatient customers. Instead of harboring irritation, you might offer a kind word or a smile, small gestures that can significantly brighten someone else's day. One of the simplest ways to practice compassion is through deep, mindful listening. In our fast-paced lives, conversations often become transactional, with each person waiting for their turn to speak rather than genuinely hearing the other. Compassionate listening means setting aside our judgments, distractions, and preconceived notions to fully understand what the other person is expressing. For instance, when a friend shares their struggles, listening with empathy and without immediately offering solutions can provide them with the space to feel heard and supported. Another approach to cultivating compassion is by engaging in small acts of kindness. These can be as straightforward as holding the door open for someone, sending a supportive message to a colleague, or volunteering at a local shelter. The key is to act without expecting anything in return. For example, a neighbor shoveling snow from a shared sidewalk on a cold morning not only helps others but also fosters a sense of community and shared responsibility. Such actions remind us that our efforts, no matter how small, contribute to the well-being of others and strengthen our connection to the world around us. Compassion also extends inward, requiring us to show kindness to ourselves. Often, we hold ourselves to impossible standards, criticizing every mistake and magnifying every flaw. Self-compassion involves treating ourselves with the same care and understanding we would offer a dear friend. For instance, if you've made an error at work, instead of berating yourself, self-compassion encourages you to acknowledge the mistake, learn from it, and move forward without undue guilt or shame. This inner kindness not only fosters emotional resilience, but also creates a solid foundation for extending compassion to others. A practical tool for cultivating compassion is loving kindness meditation, a practice rooted in Buddhist teachings. This meditation begins with focusing on yourself, repeating phrases like, "May I be happy," "May I be healthy," "May I be safe." Gradually, the focus expands to include loved ones, acquaintances, and even those with whom you have conflicts, sending them similar wishes for happiness and well-being. Over time, this practice softens barriers and broadens your capacity for understanding and kindness, even toward those you find difficult to empathize with. Compassion doesn't always come naturally, especially in challenging situations. Imagine being cut off in traffic or dealing with a rude customer. The instinctive reaction might be anger or frustration, but compassion invites us to pause and consider the other person's perspective. Perhaps the driver was distracted by an emergency, or the customer was having a particularly bad day. While this doesn't excuse poor behavior, understanding the context can diffuse negative emotions and guide our response towards something more constructive. In professional settings, compassion can transform workplace dynamics. A manager who practices compassion fosters a supportive environment where employees feel valued and understood. For example, if an employee is struggling with a project, a compassionate response might involve offering additional resources or simply acknowledging their effort and encouraging them to persevere. This approach not only boosts morale but also enhances productivity and collaboration, as people are more likely to thrive in an atmosphere of mutual respect and care. In families, compassion can be a powerful tool for resolving conflicts and strengthening relationships. Take the example of a teenager who lashes out during a heated argument. Instead of reacting with anger, a compassionate parent might seek to understand the underlying frustration or fear driving the behavior. By addressing the root cause rather than the surface-level conflict, they can create a space for open dialogue and deeper connection. Compassion also plays a critical role in healing societal divides. In a world often marked by polarization and misunderstanding, approaching others with kindness and curiosity can bridge gaps and foster unity. For instance, engaging in a respectful conversation with someone who holds different political beliefs, rather than dismissing or attacking their perspective, can lead to greater understanding and mutual respect. Compassion reminds us that, despite our differences, we share a common humanity and a collective responsibility to support one another. Developing compassion requires practice, patience, and a willingness to challenge our habitual ways of thinking. It often involves stepping outside our comfort zones to connect with others in meaningful ways. For instance, volunteering at a local food bank might expose you to the struggles faced by those experiencing food insecurity, deepening your empathy and inspiring further action. Similarly, traveling to unfamiliar places or engaging with diverse communities can broaden your perspective, helping you see the world through different lenses. Ultimately, Compassion is a practice that benefits both the giver and the receiver. By expanding our hearts beyond the boundaries of self-interest, we create a ripple effect of kindness that enriches our lives and the lives of those around us. Compassion fosters a sense of purpose, reduces stress, and enhances emotional well-being, all while building stronger, more meaningful connections. In practicing compassion, we discover that our capacity for love and understanding is far greater than we might have imagined, offering a profound pathway to inner peace and collective harmony. Meditation is often seen as a mystical or complicated practice, but at its core, it's a simple and practical tool for cultivating clarity and calm in our lives. Many people hesitate to begin meditating, thinking it requires hours of commitment or a perfectly still mind. In reality, even 5 minutes a day can have a profound impact, helping us navigate the complexities of daily life with greater ease and composure. Meditation is like decluttering the mind, a practice of clearing away the mental noise that accumulates from stress, distractions, and overthinking. Picture starting your day by sitting quietly, focusing on your breath as it moves in and out. At first, your mind may wander, perhaps to an unfinished work task or a conversation from the day before. That's normal. Meditation isn't about eliminating thoughts, but learning to observe them without judgment and gently guiding your attention back to your point of focus. Whether it's your breath, a mantra, or even the sounds around you, this simple act of returning to the present moment builds a sense of mental discipline and awareness that extends far beyond your meditation session. One of the most immediate benefits of meditation is its ability to reduce stress. Life is filled with challenges, from tight deadlines at work to conflicts in relationships. Without a tool to manage these stressors, they can snowball into overwhelming anxiety or burnout. Meditation offers a pause, a space to step back, breathe, and reset. For example, imagine someone preparing for an important presentation. Instead of letting nerves take over, they spend a few minutes meditating beforehand, focusing on their breath to calm their mind. This short practice allows them to enter the situation with a clearer head and greater confidence. Meditation also plays a key role in emotional regulation, helping us respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. When we're caught up in anger, frustration, or sadness, our immediate reactions can often make the situation worse. Meditation trains us to notice these emotions as they arise, creating a gap between feeling and action. For instance, if a coworker makes a critical comment, the initial instinct might be to snap back defensively, but someone who meditates regularly might pause, recognize their emotional response, and choose to address the issue calmly and constructively. Over time, this shift from reactive to reflective becomes second nature, enhancing both personal and professional relationships. In addition to emotional benefits, meditation sharpens our focus and mental clarity. In today's world of constant notifications and multitasking, it's easy to feel scattered and unproductive. Meditation acts as a mental reset button, improving our ability to concentrate on one task at a time. For example, a student struggling to stay focused while studying for exams might incorporate a 5-minute mindfulness meditation before each study session. This practice helps them center their attention, improving both efficiency and retention. The benefits of meditation extend to physical health as well. Research has shown that regular meditation can lower blood pressure, improve sleep, and boost the immune system. These effects are closely tied to the mind-body connection. When the mind is calm and balanced, the body often follows. Consider someone dealing with chronic pain. While meditation may not eliminate the pain entirely, it can change their relationship with it, reducing the emotional distress that often accompanies physical discomfort. Through mindfulness, they learn to observe their pain without resistance, allowing them to approach it with greater acceptance and resilience. One common misconception about meditation is that it requires a significant time investment or a perfect environment. While dedicated retreats or extended sessions can be beneficial, meditation can be seamlessly integrated into everyday life. For example, a busy parent might meditate during a quiet moment after the kids are asleep. Or a commuter could practice mindfulness on the train by focusing on the rhythm of the journey instead of scrolling through their phone. Even mundane activities like washing dishes can become a form of meditation when done with full attention to the sensations, sounds, and movements involved. Different types of meditation cater to various needs and preferences, making it accessible to almost everyone. Mindfulness meditation, which involves focusing on the present moment without judgment, is a popular starting point. Other forms include loving kindness meditation, where you cultivate feelings of goodwill toward yourself and others, and body scan meditation, which promotes relaxation by guiding your attention through different parts of the body. For those who find it challenging to sit in silence, guided meditations with instructions from an app or teacher can be a helpful introduction. Meditation is particularly valuable in building self-awareness. By regularly sitting with our thoughts and feelings, we begin to recognize patterns and triggers that influence our behavior. For example, someone might notice that their stress spikes after checking emails late at night, leading them to set boundaries around work communication. This heightened self-awareness not only helps us make healthier choices but also fosters a deeper understanding of ourselves, enabling personal growth. In professional settings, meditation can enhance creativity and problem-solving abilities. When the mind is cluttered with worries or overanalyzing, it's difficult to think outside the box or find innovative solutions. Meditation clears that clutter, creating space for fresh ideas to emerge. A writer facing a creative block, for instance, might take a break to meditate, allowing their mind to reset and approach the work with renewed inspiration. Meditation also strengthens our ability to cultivate gratitude and compassion, both of which are essential for a fulfilling life. Through practices like loving kindness meditation, we train our minds to focus on positive intentions for ourselves and others. This not only improves our relationships, but also fosters a sense of interconnectedness and empathy. For example, someone who feels disconnected in a large, busy city might use loving kindness meditation to nurture a sense of belonging and goodwill toward strangers, turning daily interactions into opportunities for connection rather than isolation. For those who doubt their ability to meditate, it's important to remember that perfection isn't the goal. Meditation is a practice, and like any skill, it improves with consistency and patience. Early attempts might feel frustrating, your mind might wander constantly, or you might feel restless, but these experiences are part of the process. Every time you bring your attention back to your breath or mantra, you're strengthening your ability to focus and be present. Over time, the benefits accumulate, creating a noticeable shift in how you experience and respond to life. Meditation doesn't just change how we feel during the practice itself, it transforms how we live. It teaches us to be fully present in the moment, whether we're enjoying a meal, having a conversation, or facing a challenge. By fostering a sense of inner calm and clarity, meditation empowers us to navigate life with greater ease, compassion, and resilience. It's not about escaping from reality, but engaging with it more deeply, seeing things as they are and responding with wisdom and grace. Through this simple yet profound practice, we discover that the peace we seek is already within us, waiting to be uncovered. Gratitude is a transformative practice that can profoundly impact the way we experience life. It isn't just about saying thank you in passing. It's a conscious effort to recognize and appreciate the positive aspects of our lives, no matter how small they might seem. While it may sound simple, gratitude has the power to shift our mindset from a focus on what we lack to an awareness of what we already have. This shift creates a ripple effect, influencing our thoughts, emotions, relationships, and overall well-being in meaningful ways. Imagine someone like John, who began the practice of writing down 3 things he was grateful for each day. At first, it seemed like a trivial exercise, but over time, he noticed a significant change in his perspective. Instead of dwelling on frustrations, like traffic jams or minor setbacks at work, he started seeing the good around him: an unexpected compliment from a colleague, a delicious cup of coffee, or even the comforting sound of rain. This habit not only reduced his tendency to complain, but also increased his overall sense of contentment. By focusing on abundance rather than scarcity, gratitude helped John approach his day with a lighter, more positive attitude. Gratitude is often referred to as the antidote to dissatisfaction because it disrupts the cycle of comparison and longing that can lead to unhappiness. In today's fast-paced, achievement-driven culture, it's easy to fall into the trap of constantly chasing more success, more possessions, more validation. However, this pursuit often leaves us feeling empty, as we overlook the value of what we already have. Gratitude breaks this cycle by bringing our attention back to the present moment and the blessings within it. For example, a person might initially feel frustrated about their aging car, but gratitude allows them to appreciate the freedom and convenience that car still provides. The practice of gratitude also enhances our relationships. When we take the time to express appreciation for the people in our lives, it strengthens those bonds and fosters deeper connections. Imagine a family dinner where everyone takes a moment to share one thing they are grateful for. This simple act creates a sense of warmth and unity, reminding everyone of the support and love they share. Similarly, in romantic relationships, expressing gratitude for your partner, whether for their kindness, humor, or support, can increase feelings of closeness and reduce conflict. For instance, instead of focusing on a minor disagreement, a person might reflect on the many ways their partner enriches their life, shifting their perspective and strengthening their bond. Gratitude is not just about acknowledging the good things in life, but also about finding value in challenges and setbacks. This might seem counterintuitive, but even difficult experiences can offer opportunities for growth, learning, or a deeper appreciation of resilience. Consider someone who lost a job unexpectedly. While the initial reaction might be fear or anger, gratitude can help them see the silver lining. Perhaps it's a chance to explore a more fulfilling career path, spend time with family, or develop new skills. This doesn't mean denying the pain of the experience, but rather finding a way to move forward with hope and perspective. Another powerful aspect of gratitude is its ability to shift our interactions with the world around us. Take, for example, the way we view everyday conveniences. It's easy to take things like running water, electricity, or internet access for granted until they're suddenly unavailable. Practicing gratitude helps us recognize and appreciate these privileges while we have them. Imagine someone waking up each morning and mentally listing a few things they're thankful for: the roof over their head, the food in their fridge, or the opportunity to pursue their passions. This habit cultivates a mindset of abundance, making even the simplest things feel extraordinary. Gratitude also has a significant impact on mental and physical health. Studies have shown that practicing gratitude can reduce symptoms of depression and anxiety, improve sleep quality, and even strengthen the immune system. For instance, someone struggling with stress might find relief by ending their day with a gratitude exercise, such as writing down positive moments from their day or recalling acts of kindness they witnessed. This practice not only calms the mind, but also rewires the brain to focus on the positive, reducing the impact of stress over time. In professional settings, gratitude can transform workplace culture. A manager who consistently acknowledges the hard work and contributions of their team fosters a more motivated and engaged workforce. Imagine an office where employees are regularly thanked for their efforts and encouraged to share their gratitude with one another. This environment not only boosts morale, but also enhances collaboration and productivity. A simple gesture, like a handwritten note of thanks or a verbal acknowledgement during a meeting, can go a long way in creating a culture of appreciation. Gratitude is also a tool for navigating difficult relationships. When tensions arise, it's easy to fixate on the negative aspects of a person or situation. However, taking a moment to reflect on what you value in that relationship can shift your perspective. For instance, if a colleague's behavior is frustrating, you might focus on their dedication to the team or the unique skills they bring to the table. This doesn't mean ignoring issues, but rather approaching them with a more balanced and understanding mindset. For those who find it challenging to practice gratitude, starting small can make a big difference. A gratitude journal, like the one John kept, is a great way to begin. Writing down just 3 things you're grateful for each day can help you develop the habit and gradually shift your focus toward positivity. Another method is to incorporate gratitude into daily routines. such as taking a moment during meals to appreciate the effort that went into preparing the food or pausing before bed to reflect on the day's highlights. These practices may seem simple, but their cumulative effect can be profound. Gratitude can also be practiced collectively, creating a sense of community and shared appreciation. For example, a teacher might begin each class by asking students to share something they're grateful for, fostering a positive atmosphere and encouraging empathy among classmates. Similarly, community events that focus on gratitude, such as volunteer days or public celebrations of local achievements, can strengthen bonds and inspire collective joy. In moments of hardship, gratitude can serve as a lifeline. When life feels overwhelming, taking the time to acknowledge even the smallest blessings like the support of a friend, a moment of peace, or a comforting meal can provide a sense of stability and hope. Consider someone recovering from illness who chooses to focus on the progress they've made rather than the challenges ahead. This mindset not only aids emotional recovery but also fosters a sense of resilience and optimism. Ultimately, gratitude is more than a fleeting emotion. It's a way of life. It invites us to see the world through a lens of appreciation, shifting our focus from what's missing to what's present. This simple yet profound practice transforms how we interact with ourselves, others, and the world around us. By cultivating gratitude, we open the door to greater happiness, stronger relationships, and a deeper sense of fulfillment. It's a reminder that, even in the midst of challenges, there is always something to be thankful for, and that recognition can change everything. Patience is one of the most underrated yet essential qualities for building resilience and maintaining a balanced perspective in life. It is not merely the ability to wait, but the wisdom to understand that many of life's most meaningful outcomes require time to unfold. Like a gardener planting seeds, patience teaches us to trust the process. Even when the results are not immediately visible, the gardener doesn't dig up the soil every day to check on the seeds. Instead, she waters them, ensures they receive sunlight, and lets nature take its course. This trust in the process is a metaphor for how patience can help us navigate the complexities of modern life. In a world driven by instant gratification, practicing patience is increasingly challenging yet profoundly rewarding. Consider the frustration of being stuck in traffic or waiting for a delayed flight. In these moments, it's easy to let irritation take over. But patience offers a different perspective. Instead of stewing in frustration, these moments can be reframed as opportunities to pause, take a deep breath, and embrace the present. For instance, someone stuck in traffic might use the time to listen to an inspiring podcast or simply reflect on their day. This shift not only alleviates stress, but also transforms an otherwise negative experience into something constructive. Patience is also crucial in relationships, where misunderstandings and conflicts can arise. Often, we expect others to change or respond on our timeline, leading to frustration when they don't meet our expectations. Practicing patience in these moments fosters understanding and empathy. For example, imagine a parent trying to teach their child a new skill, such as tying their shoes. It's tempting to step in and do it for them out of impatience, but allowing the child to learn at their own pace strengthens their confidence and independence. Similarly, in romantic relationships, patience helps partners navigate differences with kindness, giving each other the time and space to grow and adapt. In the workplace, patience can mean the difference between a hasty decision and a well-considered one. A manager might face pressure to implement changes quickly, but taking the time to gather input and consider long-term implications often leads to better outcomes. For instance, a company rolling out a new product might face initial setbacks, such as technical glitches or customer resistance. A patient approach allows the team to address these challenges methodically, building a stronger foundation for future success. This perspective applies to personal ambitions as well. Someone working toward a long-term goal, like earning a degree or starting a business, might feel discouraged by slow progress. Patience helps them stay focused on the journey rather than becoming overwhelmed by the distance yet to be covered. Patience is equally important in moments of personal growth and healing. Whether recovering from an illness, overcoming a setback, or learning a new skill, progress often feels painstakingly slow. Imagine someone training for their first marathon. The initial runs might be exhausting, and improvement might seem minimal. However, with consistent effort and patience, they gradually build stamina and confidence, eventually achieving what once seemed impossible. This principle applies to emotional resilience as well. Healing from heartbreak or grief doesn't happen overnight, but by allowing ourselves the time to process emotions, we emerge stronger and more self-aware. Cultivating patience requires deliberate practice and a shift in mindset. One effective strategy is to set realistic expectations, both for ourselves and others. Unrealistic expectations often lead to frustration when reality falls short. For instance, if you're learning to cook, expecting to master complex recipes immediately is likely to result in disappointment. Instead, starting with simpler dishes and celebrating small victories builds confidence and reduces frustration. This approach can be applied to relationships, projects, and personal development, creating a more forgiving and encouraging environment. Another powerful way to develop patience is through mindfulness. When we're impatient, our minds are often focused on the future, what's taking so long, or when the desired outcome will arrive. Mindfulness brings us back to the present, encouraging us to engage fully with the current moment. Consider someone waiting in a long line at the grocery store. Instead of dwelling on the delay, they might focus on their surroundings, noticing the people, sounds, and details around them. This practice not only reduces impatience, but also deepens our appreciation for the present. Reflection is another valuable tool for building patience. Taking the time to look back on moments when patience paid off can reinforce its importance. For example, reflecting on a challenging period in life that eventually led to growth or success helps us see that good things often take time. This understanding builds confidence in the process, making it easier to remain patient during future challenges. Patience is particularly relevant in an era dominated by technology and instant access to information. The constant availability of quick fixes and immediate answers can make us less tolerant of delays and setbacks. However, practicing patience in this context can be as simple as taking a break from screens or slowing down to enjoy a meal without distractions. These small acts of patience remind us that not everything needs to happen instantly and that there's value in slowing down. In community and social settings, patience fosters harmony and collaboration. Imagine a neighborhood planning a community garden. Some members might want to see immediate results, while others prioritize long-term sustainability. A patient approach allows the group to work through differences, ensuring that the project reflects everyone's input and meets collective goals. Similarly, in broader societal contexts, patience can play a role in addressing complex issues like climate change or social justice. These challenges require sustained effort and a willingness to persevere through setbacks, trusting that incremental progress will eventually lead to meaningful change. Patience also extends to our relationship with ourselves. Many people are their harshest critics, expecting perfection and becoming frustrated when they fall short. Practicing self-patience means recognizing that growth takes time and that setbacks are part of the journey. For instance, someone trying to develop healthier habits might struggle with consistency at first. Instead of giving up, self-patience encourages them to view each day as a new opportunity, celebrating small improvements rather than focusing on occasional missteps. This mindset not only fosters resilience, but also makes the process of change more enjoyable and sustainable. In challenging situations, patience can be a source of inner strength. Consider someone facing a difficult medical diagnosis. While the path to recovery may be long and uncertain, patience helps them focus on the steps they can take today, such as following treatment plans or seeking support from loved ones. This approach not only reduces stress, but also builds a sense of agency and hope. Ultimately, patience is a skill that benefits every aspect of life, from personal growth and relationships to professional achievements and societal progress. It teaches us to value the process as much as the outcome, finding meaning and joy in the journey rather than rushing to the destination. By practicing patience, we develop resilience, deepen our connections with others, and cultivate a sense of peace and contentment. No matter what life brings, Nonviolence is a principle that extends far beyond the absence of physical harm. It is a philosophy of life, a conscious choice to foster peace and understanding in our thoughts, words, and actions. In moments of conflict or tension, it becomes especially powerful, offering a path to resolution that builds rather than breaks relationships. Nonviolence requires mindfulness, self-control, and a deep commitment to empathy, but its rewards are profound, leading to harmony within ourselves and with others. Imagine a heated argument between two co-workers over a missed deadline. Tempers flare, voices rise, and the situation quickly spirals out of control. In such moments, the instinctive reaction might be to lash out, defend one's position, or place blame. However, a person practicing nonviolence would pause, take a breath, and ask themselves, will my words bring harmony or discord? This brief moment of reflection can shift the trajectory of the conflict entirely. Instead of escalating tensions, the person might choose to express their concerns calmly, listen to the other's perspective, and work collaboratively toward a solution. This approach not only resolves the immediate issue, but also strengthens mutual respect and trust. Nonviolence begins in the mind. Our thoughts shape our emotions, which in turn influence our words and actions. When we harbor anger, resentment, or judgment, these emotions often find their way into our interactions, creating an atmosphere of tension and hostility. Practicing nonviolence means cultivating thoughts of understanding and compassion, even in challenging situations. For example, if someone cuts you off in traffic, the initial reaction might be irritation or anger. Instead of letting these emotions take control, nonviolence invites you to consider alternative explanations. Perhaps the driver was distracted by an emergency. By reframing the situation, you can respond with patience rather than aggression, preserving your own peace of mind. Words hold incredible power, and nonviolence emphasizes the importance of using them thoughtfully. A single phrase can either heal or hurt, depending on how it's delivered. Think of a parent correcting a child's behavior. Harsh, critical words might lead to feelings of shame or defiance, while gentle, constructive feedback fosters understanding and growth. For instance, instead of saying, "Why are you always so careless?" a parent might say, "Let's figure out how to avoid this mistake next time." This small shift in language reflects the essence of nonviolence, addressing issues without causing unnecessary harm. In professional settings, nonviolence can transform workplace dynamics. Consider a manager providing feedback to an employee who has underperformed. A nonviolent approach involves acknowledging the employee's efforts, identifying areas for improvement without blame, and offering support to help them succeed. For example, rather than saying, "You're not meeting expectations," the manager might say, "I see your potential, and I want to help you reach it. Let's work together on these specific areas." This approach not only motivates the employee, but also fosters a culture of respect and collaboration. Nonviolence is equally important in personal relationships, where conflicts often arise from misunderstandings or unmet expectations. Imagine a couple arguing about household responsibilities. It's easy for frustration to lead to accusations like, "You never help around the house." However, a nonviolent response focuses on expressing feelings and needs without blame. Saying, "I feel overwhelmed and could use some help with chores," invites dialogue and cooperation rather than defensiveness. This way, nonviolence strengthens the relationship by addressing issues constructively. Practicing nonviolence doesn't mean suppressing emotions or avoiding confrontation. It's about approaching conflict with a mindset of resolution and respect. For example, in a community dispute over a shared resource, such as parking spaces or noise levels, nonviolence encourages open communication and active listening. Instead of resorting to hostility or passive-aggressive behavior, individuals come together to share their concerns, understand each other's perspectives, and find a compromise. This approach not only resolves the immediate issue, but also fosters a sense of unity and mutual support within the community. Nonviolence also applies to how we treat ourselves. Many people are harsh critics of their own mistakes, using negative self-talk that can erode confidence and well-being. Practicing nonviolence toward oneself involves treating mistakes as opportunities for growth rather than as failures to be punished. For instance, if you miss a deadline, instead of saying, "I'm so incompetent," you might say, "I learned from this, and I'll plan better next time." This shift in perspective reduces stress and builds resilience, allowing you to approach future challenges with a positive mindset. In education, nonviolence can play a transformative role in fostering a supportive learning environment. Teachers who practice nonviolence focus on encouragement rather than punishment, creating a space where students feel safe to make mistakes and learn from them. For example, instead of scolding a student for a wrong answer, a teacher might say, "That's an interesting thought, let's explore it further." This approach builds confidence and curiosity, helping students develop a love for learning rather than a fear of failure. Nonviolence extends beyond individual interactions to broader societal issues. In movements for social justice, nonviolent resistance has been a powerful tool for change. Leaders like Mahatma Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr. demonstrated how nonviolence can challenge injustice without perpetuating cycles of harm. Their approach emphasized dialogue, empathy, and moral courage, inspiring lasting change through peaceful means. These examples remind us that nonviolence is not passive. It requires strength, patience, and a deep commitment to principles of justice and equality. Cultivating nonviolence takes practice and intentionality. One effective strategy is to pause before responding in a heated moment. This pause creates space to consider the impact of your words and actions. For instance, during an argument, taking a deep breath and counting to 5 can prevent an impulsive reaction and allow you to respond thoughtfully. Another strategy is to actively practice empathy by putting yourself in the other person's shoes. Understanding their feelings and motivations can help you approach the situation with compassion rather than judgment. Mindfulness is another valuable tool for practicing nonviolence. By becoming aware of your thoughts and emotions, you can identify moments when frustration or anger begins to arise and choose a different response. For example, if you notice yourself becoming irritated during a disagreement, mindfulness can help you recognize that emotion without letting it dictate your behavior. This awareness enables you to respond with clarity and kindness, even in challenging situations. Nonviolence also involves setting boundaries to protect your own well-being. It's not about tolerating harmful behavior, but addressing it in a way that seeks resolution rather than retaliation. For instance, if a coworker repeatedly interrupts you during meetings, a nonviolent response might be to calmly express your feelings and ask for a change in behavior. "I'd like to finish my thought before we move on. Can we agree to take turns speaking?" This approach asserts your needs while maintaining respect for the other person. Ultimately, nonviolence is a choice, a commitment to creating harmony in our interactions and within ourselves. It's about recognizing the power of our words and actions to either build or break, heal or harm. By choosing peace in thought and action, we contribute to a more compassionate and understanding world. Nonviolence doesn't eliminate conflict, but it transforms how we navigate it, turning challenges into opportunities for growth, connection, and mutual respect. Self-awareness is the foundation of emotional mastery, a compass that helps us navigate the complexities of our inner world. It's the ability to recognize and understand our emotions, thoughts, and behaviors, as well as how they influence our interactions with others. Developing self-awareness empowers us to respond to life's challenges with clarity and intention rather than being swept away by impulsive reactions. It is a skill that can be cultivated through deliberate practice, reflection, and mindfulness, and its transformative power touches every aspect of our lives. Imagine someone who often feels defensive when criticized at work. Without self-awareness, they might instinctively lash out, deny responsibility, or withdraw, creating tension with colleagues and potentially damaging their professional reputation. However, a self-aware individual recognizes this pattern and takes a moment to pause when faced with criticism. They might ask themselves, "Why am I feeling defensive? Is this feedback an opportunity to grow?" This reflection allows them to respond constructively, perhaps by asking for clarification or expressing gratitude for the input, turning what could have been a negative interaction into a moment of learning and connection. Keeping a journal is one of the most effective tools for developing self-awareness. Writing down your thoughts, feelings, and reactions to daily events helps uncover patterns and triggers that might otherwise go unnoticed. For instance, someone might notice through journaling that they often feel irritable after long meetings. With this awareness, they can explore potential causes, perhaps they're skipping lunch or feeling unheard during discussions, and take steps to address the underlying issue. This proactive approach not only improves their emotional well-being, but also enhances their ability to navigate similar situations in the future. Mindfulness is another powerful practice for cultivating self-awareness. By paying close attention to the present moment without judgment, mindfulness helps us observe our thoughts and emotions as they arise. For example, during a stressful commute, someone practicing mindfulness might notice their rising frustration and the tension in their shoulders. Instead of letting these feelings escalate, they can acknowledge them, take a few deep breaths, and choose to focus on something calming, like the rhythm of their breath or the music playing on the radio. Over time, this practice strengthens their ability to recognize and manage emotions in real time. Self-awareness also involves seeking feedback from others. While it can be uncomfortable to hear about our blind spots, constructive feedback offers invaluable insights into how our behavior impacts those around us. Imagine a manager who often interrupts their team during meetings. Without feedback, they might remain unaware of how this habit stifles collaboration. However, if a team member respectfully points it out, the manager gains an opportunity to reflect, adjust their behavior, and foster a more inclusive environment. This willingness to learn and grow not only enhances their leadership, but also strengthens their relationships with colleagues. In relationships, self-awareness helps us understand how our emotions and behaviors affect our interactions. For example, a partner who becomes easily frustrated during disagreements might notice through reflection that their tone becomes sharp or dismissive. Recognizing this pattern allows them to approach future conflicts with greater care, perhaps by taking a moment to calm down before responding or actively listening to their partner's perspective. This shift can transform the relationship, creating a foundation of mutual respect and understanding. Another important aspect of self-awareness is identifying our values and priorities. When we're clear about what matters most to us, we're better equipped to make decisions that align with our authentic selves. For instance, someone might realize through self-reflection that they value creativity and autonomy but feel stifled in a rigid corporate job. This awareness could inspire them to pursue a career change, start a side project, or find ways to bring more creativity into their current role. By aligning their actions with their values, they enhance their sense of fulfillment and purpose. Self-awareness also plays a crucial role in managing stress. Many people go through their days unaware of the subtle signs of stress building up, tension in their jaw, shallow breathing, or an inability to focus. By tuning into these signals, we can take proactive steps to address stress before it becomes overwhelming. For example, someone might notice that they feel particularly anxious before important meetings. With this awareness, they could develop strategies to prepare mentally, such as practicing deep breathing, visualizing a successful outcome, or reviewing their notes in a calm setting. In professional settings, self-awareness is a key component of effective leadership. Leaders who understand their strengths, weaknesses, and emotional tendencies are better equipped to inspire and support their teams. For example, a self-aware leader who knows they have a tendency to micromanage might consciously practice delegation, trusting their team members to take ownership of their tasks. This not only empowers the team, but also allows the leader to focus on higher-level responsibilities, ultimately benefiting the organization as a whole. Self-awareness also enhances decision-making by helping us distinguish between impulsive reactions and thoughtful choices. Imagine someone deciding whether to invest in a new business venture. Without self-awareness, they might be swayed by excitement or fear, making a decision based on emotion rather than careful consideration. However, a self-aware individual would take the time to explore their motivations, evaluate the risks, and align the decision with their long-term goals. This deliberate approach leads to more confident and informed choices. Practicing gratitude is another way to deepen self-awareness. By regularly reflecting on what we're thankful for, we gain insight into the aspects of life that bring us joy and fulfillment. For instance, someone might realize that their happiest moments involve spending time in nature or connecting with loved ones. This awareness can guide them to prioritize these activities, enhancing their overall well-being. Self-awareness also helps us navigate challenges with greater resilience. When faced with setbacks, a self-aware person can recognize their emotional response, whether it's disappointment, frustration, or self-doubt, and approach it with curiosity rather than judgment. For example, if a project doesn't go as planned, they might reflect on what went wrong, what they learned, and how they can improve next time. This growth-oriented mindset transforms failure into an opportunity for development. Another important dimension of self-awareness is recognizing how external factors influence our emotions and behaviors. For instance, someone might notice that they feel more irritable after scrolling through social media or watching the news for extended periods. With this awareness, they can set boundaries around these activities, choosing instead to engage in more uplifting or meaningful pursuits. This proactive approach not only reduces negative influences but also fosters a sense of agency and control. Self-awareness is not about perfection, it's about progress. It's a lifelong journey of understanding ourselves more deeply and using that understanding to live intentionally. By keeping a journal, practicing mindfulness, seeking feedback, and reflecting on our values, we can develop a clearer picture of our inner landscape. This clarity allows us to navigate life's challenges with greater ease, respond to others with empathy, and make choices that align with our authentic selves. Ultimately, self-awareness empowers us to live more meaningful, connected, and fulfilling lives. Mindfulness, impermanence, and detachment are not just abstract concepts. They are practical tools that can transform our daily lives. These principles come to life through real stories and relatable situations, offering profound lessons on how to navigate challenges with grace and understanding. Consider a parent faced with their toddler's tantrum in the middle of a busy supermarket. The child is wailing over a denied candy bar, drawing stares from strangers. In moments like this, it's easy for frustration to take over, leading to raised voices or rushed attempts to end the outburst. However, a parent practicing mindfulness chooses a different approach. Instead of reacting impulsively, they pause and take a deep breath, grounding themselves in the present moment. This simple act of mindfulness creates space to respond with calmness rather than anger. Kneeling to the child's level, the parent gently acknowledges their feelings. "I see you're upset because we can't buy the candy today. It's okay to feel sad." This empathetic response diffuses the tension, transforming what could have been a conflict into an opportunity for connection. The child feels seen and understood, and the parent maintains their composure, fostering trust and emotional security. Mindfulness in parenting isn't just about managing tantrums. It's about creating a foundation of presence and understanding that benefits both parent and child. Over time, these mindful interactions teach children to regulate their emotions and communicate their needs effectively. For the parent, mindfulness provides a buffer against stress, helping them approach challenges with clarity and patience. Impermanence, on the other hand, is a principle that deeply influences relationships, particularly those that face physical distance. Imagine a couple navigating the complexities of a long-distance relationship. They miss the daily routines of being together, the shared meals, the quiet evenings, but instead of dwelling on the separation, they embrace impermanence. They recognize that their time apart is temporary and that their love can thrive even in the face of distance. Rather than lamenting the moments they cannot share, they find joy in the fleeting ones they can. A video call becomes a cherished ritual, and reunions are celebrated with a deep sense of gratitude. For this couple, impermanence teaches them to value the present and to focus on the quality of their connection rather than the quantity of their interactions. It also strengthens their ability to adapt, a skill that will serve them well in future challenges. When they are finally able to close the distance, their relationship is enriched by the resilience and appreciation they've cultivated. The concept of impermanence also applies to moments of personal transition, such as career setbacks. Imagine a professional who loses their job unexpectedly. The initial reaction might be one of loss, fear, and frustration. They might feel as though their identity and security have been stripped away. However, by embracing detachment, they can shift their focus from what has been lost to what new opportunities might lie ahead. Detachment doesn't mean denying the pain of the experience. It's natural to grieve the loss of a familiar routine and sense of stability. Instead, it means not allowing that pain to define their outlook. For instance, after taking time to process their emotions, this individual might start exploring interests they had previously set aside, such as pursuing a certification, launching a small business, or volunteering in their community. They might realize that losing their job was the push they needed to align their career with their passions. By letting go of their attachment to a specific role or identity, they open themselves to growth and transformation. Over time, what initially seemed like a setback becomes a pivotal moment of reinvention and empowerment. Detachment also allows people to approach their careers with a healthier mindset. When we're overly attached to outcomes, such as promotions or accolades, we place our sense of worth in external validation. This creates unnecessary stress and dissatisfaction. By practicing detachment, we focus on the process, doing our best work, and finding fulfillment in the effort itself, rather than obsessing over results. For example, a salesperson who embraces detachment might find joy in building relationships with clients rather than fixating solely on hitting monthly targets. This approach not only reduces anxiety, but often leads to better performance, as their interactions are guided by genuine interest rather than pressure. Each of these stories illustrates how mindfulness, impermanence, and detachment can transform everyday challenges into opportunities for growth and connection. They remind us that life's difficulties, while often uncomfortable, are not insurmountable. With the right mindset, we can navigate them with resilience and grace, finding deeper meaning and joy along the way. These principles invite us to live more intentionally, fostering peace within ourselves and in our relationships with others. They are not just tools for personal growth, but bridges that connect us to the broader human experience, reminding us that we are all navigating the same currents of change and uncertainty. Emotional mastery is not about denying or suppressing emotions, but about engaging with them in a thoughtful and intentional way. It is the practice of recognizing our emotions, understanding their origins, and choosing responses that align with wisdom and compassion. This approach allows us to transform challenges into opportunities for growth, fostering resilience and inner peace in the process. Through small, consistent practices such as mindfulness, gratitude, and meditation, we build the tools needed to navigate life's complexities with greater clarity and balance. Mindfulness is one of the simplest yet most powerful ways to cultivate emotional mastery. It invites us to pause and observe the present moment without judgment, whether we're experiencing joy, frustration, or sorrow. For instance, in a stressful work situation, mindfulness helps us identify our emotions and separate them from the immediate problem, allowing us to respond with composure rather than reacting impulsively. Over time, this practice builds a buffer between stimulus and response, empowering us to act thoughtfully and intentionally. Gratitude shifts our focus from what's missing to what's present, creating a mindset of abundance and positivity. It's a tool for reshaping our perception, helping us find joy even in difficult times. For example, after a challenging day, taking a moment to reflect on small blessings, a kind word from a colleague, a delicious meal, or the support of a friend can transform frustration into contentment. Gratitude doesn't ignore life's hardships, but balances them with an appreciation of life's gifts, fostering a deeper sense of resilience. Meditation is another cornerstone of emotional mastery, offering a space to declutter the mind and cultivate inner stillness. Even a brief meditation practice focusing on the breath for 5 minutes or repeating a mantra can create profound shifts in how we approach life. Meditation trains us to observe our thoughts without becoming entangled in them, making it easier to let go of unhelpful patterns and find clarity. For example, someone struggling with anxiety might use meditation to ground themselves, reducing the power of anxious thoughts and creating space for more constructive responses. Buddhist wisdom offers practical tools for navigating life's inevitable challenges, reminding us that adversity can be a catalyst for growth. The metaphor of the two arrows provides a powerful framework for understanding suffering. The first arrow represents life's unavoidable pain, illness, loss, disappointment. These experiences are a natural part of existence and cannot always be prevented. The second arrow, however, is the suffering we create by resisting or magnifying that pain. For instance, when faced with criticism, the first arrow might be the sting of hurt feelings, but the second arrow arises when we dwell on the criticism, internalize it, or retaliate in anger. By recognizing this dynamic, we can learn to accept the first arrow without adding the second, finding freedom from unnecessary suffering. This wisdom can be applied to everyday scenarios. Imagine someone dealing with the loss of a job. The first arrow is the pain of losing financial security and a sense of purpose. The second arrow might be feelings of shame, self-doubt, or blame. A person practicing emotional mastery would acknowledge the pain of the situation while reframing it as an opportunity to explore new paths, perhaps discovering a career more aligned with their passions. This shift in perspective doesn't erase the difficulty, but transforms it into a stepping stone for growth. Another practical takeaway is the importance of letting go of expectations, attachments, and the illusion of control. Life is inherently unpredictable, and clinging to fixed outcomes often leads to frustration. For example, in a relationship, rigid expectations about how a partner should act can create tension. Practicing detachment doesn't mean caring less, but rather allowing the relationship to evolve naturally, appreciating the connection without imposing unnecessary demands. This mindset fosters healthier, more harmonious interactions. The essence of emotional mastery lies in responding to life with wisdom rather than reactivity. It's the ability to pause, reflect, and choose actions that align with our values and long-term well-being. This practice not only enhances our relationships and mental health, but also creates a ripple effect, influencing those around us. When we respond to conflict with calmness, express gratitude in moments of scarcity, or find peace amid uncertainty, we inspire others to do the same. Transforming challenges into opportunities for growth requires patience and practice. It's not about achieving perfection, but about making incremental progress. Each small step, taking a deep breath during an argument, expressing gratitude for a small kindness, or spending a few minutes in meditation builds our capacity for resilience. Over time, these practices become second nature, shaping how we engage with the world. The journey toward emotional mastery is deeply personal, but it's also universally relevant. By embracing these principles, we move closer to a life of balance, fulfillment, and peace. Challenges will still arise, but with mindfulness, gratitude, and detachment, we can face them with strength and grace, avoiding the second arrow and finding freedom from unnecessary suffering. This transformation is not only possible, but accessible to anyone willing to take the first step. Congratulations, you've just taken a step closer to mastering your emotions and transforming your mindset. Remember, emotional mastery isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about turning challenges into opportunities, responding thoughtfully instead of reacting impulsively, and finding peace even in the midst of life's chaos. As we've explored today, tools like mindfulness, gratitude, and detachment aren't just ideas, they're powerful practices that can reshape how you approach life. Think about the Buddhist metaphor of the two arrows. While the first arrow represents life's unavoidable pains, the second arrow is the suffering we create by resisting those pains. By mastering the art of not reacting, you can free yourself from that second arrow, discovering a profound sense of peace and freedom. Now it's your turn to put these principles into action. Start small. Maybe it's a moment of mindfulness during your morning routine, or a quick gratitude practice before bed. Watch how these little habits build resilience and clarity over time. If you found value in today's video, don't keep it to yourself. Like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us create more content to inspire and empower you. Hit the bell icon so you'll be notified every time we post. And feel free to drop a comment below sharing which practice you're excited to try first. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Thank you for spending this time with us. Remember, every moment is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to live more fully. Stay mindful, stay kind, and we'll see you in the next video.